Marcus Chen had seen better days, and so had the freighter sitting on landing pad 7. The Wandering Star was a rust bucket if he'd ever seen one, but at 20,000 credits, it was all he could afford. 3 years of saving his salary as a dock worker on Terminus Station had finally paid off. He was getting his own ship. The Vex dealer, a 6-armed creature with too many teeth, had been suspiciously eager to close the deal. "No refunds," it had chittered, shoving the ownership chip into Marcus's palm before scuttling away into the station's lower markets. Marcus should have known something was wrong. He spent his first hour aboard going through the ship's systems. The engines were shot, the life support was wheezing, and the navigation computer looked like it had been cobbled together from 3 different species' technology. But it was his. He could work with this. It was in the cargo hold, behind a false panel he'd discovered while checking the structural integrity, that Marcus found them. The mother was Krishna, one of the crystalline species from the outer spiral. Her body was translucent blue, shot through with veins of bioluminescent silver that pulsed weakly. She was curled protectively around a smaller form, a child no bigger than Marcus's forearm. Both were emaciated, their inner light flickering like dying stars. The mother's eyes, 3 of them, arranged in a triangle on what passed for her face, focused on Marcus. She made a sound like wind chimes in a hurricane, her body tensing. One crystalline arm moved to shield her child more completely. Marcus raised his hands slowly, backing up a step. "Easy, easy. I'm not going to hurt you." She probably didn't understand English, but his tone seemed to register. The chiming sound softened, though she didn't relax. Marcus's mind raced. Krishna weren't common in this sector. They were peaceful, mostly keeping to their own worlds. What was she doing hidden in a cargo freighter? And why did she look like she'd been here for weeks without food or water? Then it hit him. The Vex dealer's eagerness, the too low price, the no refunds policy. Someone had been smuggling them, and when the deal went south or got too hot, they'd abandon ship, probably planning to scrap it for parts and let the cargo hold's occupants become someone else's problem. "Damn it," Marcus muttered. He couldn't just leave them here. The Krishna consumed stellar radiation. They needed specific wavelengths to survive. Down here in the sealed cargo hold, they were starving, but getting involved meant trouble. Harboring refugees, especially ones who'd likely been trafficked, could land him in a consortium prison. He'd lose the ship, lose everything he'd worked for. Marcus looked at the mother again, at the way she held her child, at the dimming light in both their bodies. He thought about his own mother, who'd worked 3 jobs to keep him fed after his father died, who'd sacrificed everything so he could have a chance at something better. "Screw it," he said. He ran to the bridge and started pulling up everything he could find on Krishna biology. 20 minutes of frantic searching later, he had a plan. It wasn't a good plan, but it was something. Marcus rerouted power from non-essential systems and rigged the cargo hold's exterior panels to open, creating a skylight to Terminus Station's artificial sun, a massive fusion reactor that provided light and heat to the entire facility. It wasn't perfect, wasn't the specific stellar wavelengths Krishna needed, but it was better than nothing. Next came water. The Krishna didn't drink it like humans, but they absorbed it through their crystalline structure. Marcus filled every container he could find and hauled them to the cargo hold, gently placing them near the mother. She watched him with those 3 unblinking eyes, still protective, still wary, but no longer actively defensive. "It's okay," Marcus said softly, demonstrating by dipping his fingers in the water. "For you. For your kid." The mother extended one delicate arm, touching the water's surface. Her body shimmered, and Marcus watched as the liquid seemed to flow up her crystalline structure, being absorbed directly. The light inside her pulsed a little stronger. She made that wind chime sound again, but this time it was different, musical, almost like relief. Over the next 3 days, Marcus worked around the clock. He spent every credit he had left buying nutrient solutions that could be mixed with water, creating something closer to what the Krishna needed. He jerry-rigged the panels to filter the station's light into a better spectrum. He slept in the pilot's chair when he slept at all. The mother started to recover first. Her inner light grew steadier, the silver veins brightening to their proper luminescence. The child took longer, but on the 4th day, Marcus entered the cargo hold to find the small Krishna actually moving around. exploring the space with childlike curiosity. The mother approached him then, no longer afraid. She placed one crystalline hand against his chest, and Marcus felt a strange warmth, a vibration that seemed to resonate with something deep inside him. Images flashed through his mind, not words, but feelings, concepts. Gratitude, hope, trust. "You're welcome," Marcus said, his voice rough. He knew he couldn't keep them on Terminus Station. Eventually, someone would ask questions, run scans, find them. He needed to get them somewhere safe, back to Krishna space if possible. That meant fixing the ship. Really fixing it, not just patching it together. Making it worthy of the lives he was now responsible for. Marcus looked at the wandering star's broken systems. At the crystalline mother and child who'd been abandoned like cargo. At the choice he'd made that had changed everything. He'd thought he was just buying a ship. Buying his freedom. Buying a future. Turned out he'd bought something far more important. The chance to do the right thing when it mattered most. And somehow, in this moment, with no money left and a ship that barely flew, with 2 refugees depending on him, and half the station potentially hunting them, Marcus Chen had never felt richer in his life. He rolled up his sleeves and headed to the engine room. They had a long journey ahead, but humans had a saying about journeys beginning with single steps. Marcus figured the same applied to fixing impossible ships and saving impossible lives. Time to get to work.